Welcome, everyone, to Goffstown High School. My name is Scott Gross. I'm joined with Bill Rowell. Good afternoon, Bill. How are you?
Well, I made it on time. Even though with the accident on the highway, I still got here. I'm really looking forward to today's game. I think we have two pretty good teams out here, and Goffstown's got a battle back from yesterday.
Yeah. So we're right before the pregame here, and our public address announcer, Brad Parkhurst, is announcing the game, the players right now. It's Operation Hat Trick in Goffstown. This has been a tradition for about 3 or 4 years. Matt Fleming, the head coach, he comes from a family of military veterans, and he honors those military veterans every year during a game. And today they'll be presenting colors, and I believe his dad will be throwing out the first pitch today.
Your starters for Goffstown: Misiorski, Gagnon, Shannon Gifford, Meg Purcell.
Nice about Goffstown softball is they do announce all the players every game, and just a nice little tradition to recognize everyone.
It makes the sub feel part of the team.
Yeah.
Your umpires for today's game are Bob Thomas and Mark Schiavono. I now ask that you all rise for the posting of the colors by American Legion Post number 16. Posting the colors of the Post, American Hawaiian Legion Post. Robert Mahoney, Commander. Joseph Rush, Junior Vice Commander. Alex McNeil, Adjutant. Richard Marchand, District 4 Chaplain. And also Post Chaplain. Richard Fletcher, Sergeant at Arms. Linda Fletcher, and other members of Post 16. Before we have the playing of the national anthem, my good friend Scott Gross would like to honor a parent of a former player and a longtime fan who recently passed away.
Thank you, Brad. Earlier this week, the Goffstown Grizzlies softball community lost a member of its family. Nick Hines was an active spectator at many Goffstown softball games, watching his stepdaughter and former Goffstown High School player, Jenna Indegaro, play at shortstop. On behalf of the Goffstown Grizzlies, we'd like to extend our sincere condolences to his wife, Janine, stepchildren, Jenna and Kyle, and the entire family. At this time, I ask that we honor Nick with a moment of silence.
Thank you. Now we'll have the playing of the national anthem. Please remove your hat as we honor America and all those who have served for both past and present. Thank you. As I said, this is Operation Hat Trick Day. Operation Hat Trick was started at the University of New Hampshire in 2008. And in 2008, a graduate of UNH, Nate Hardy, and his good friend Mike Pope were killed in Iraq. They served together, they went through SEAL training together, they died together, they're buried together at Arlington National Cemetery. The idea came from retired Associate Athletic Director Dot Sheehan. Dot had heard that veterans who were wounded in Iraq, if they had a head wound, what they really wanted was a hat. So it started out hat trick, if all of you know about hockey. For 3 hats sold, 1 hat was donated for an injured soldier. It blossomed to that point where in 2012 it went national. It's now over 300, 400 schools, both high schools, both colleges, other organizations who sell hats to raise money and donate the money, and this is for all injuries now, to wounded veterans from our services. And we can't thank our veterans enough. And in honor of our veterans, the first pitch is going to be thrown out by Coach Fleming's dad, Tom Fleming, who is retired Army and also served over 40 years in law enforcement. Thank you. Okay, Tom.
That's a strike, I think.
He told me he was not practicing. Thank you so much. Now, let's play ball.
Well, that was a special time here at Goffstown High School. I always love Operation Hat Trick Day, and Brad did such a wonderful job explaining the origins of it. And for those of you who don't know Brad Parkhurst, our public address announcer here in Goffstown, he's been an avid fan of many sport, not only to here at Goffstown, but also at University of New Hampshire, where he has many ties. You'll see him many times being a off-ice official at UNH men's and women's games. So so Brad does know that program intimately well, and the origins of Operation Hat Trick. Again, we got our history lesson today, Bill, come from UNH.
Plus, Brad also was in the military too.
Yeah.
For a number of years.
Yeah, he's retired. He was Army. Yeah.
Well, looking to today's game, a little cool. Looks like a little bit of a breeze today. But I think it's going to be a good one. As I said earlier, we have to battle back from yesterday's loss, even though it was only 2 home runs that they gave up.
Yeah.
But they can really be killers. And he's going to go with Gifford today on the mound. That's good.
Yeah, so we got a freshman in the circle, Hannah Gifford. She has pitched. I believe this is her 3rd game she's pitched. And she's thrown 2 in the dirt in warm-up. So maybe a little bit nervous, but
get it over with now.
Yeah, exactly. I was told that Chouinard got tattooed, I guess, by a ball that came back to the. I talked to one of the coaches on the staff, and they said that a ball got hit sharply back to hit her in the thigh. So she's got a kind of black and blue. She's playing second base, but
tough. She's tough.
She's a tough kid. So for the most part, Bill, for those of you who have been following Goffstown girls softball, the lineup or the defensive positions are very similar. The exception here is that Gifford, who has been playing second base the last several games, she's now pitching, and Chouinard, who normally pitches, is the second baseman. So other than that, all the other positions are virtually the same. Behind the plate, Alyssa Lombardi, who's done a great job this year. And I think, one of the nice things that Matt Fleming has going for him, he's got 2 freshman pitchers who are on varsity who've done pretty well. So Gifford here will deliver the first pitch. And that ball's over the first baseman's head. That's going to drop in for a fair ball.
DeRocher's.
And DeRocher was Paige DeRocher, and she got a little bit of a late swing on that one, but just enough to get it over Megan Purcell's head. So first pitch swinging for DeRocher, and in steps Maggie Rasmussen.
Looked like she was going to try to bunt. Didn't make any contact. The infielders were moving.
And that ball's fouled off so quickly. Rasmussen is in an 0-2 hole. You know, I watched the tryouts, and I was very impressed with Gifford. She has a lot of movement on her ball. Another one that's tipped. Her speed is probably, you know, commensurate with somebody who's, a division. I'm sorry, a player, you know, at this caliber, a freshman obviously, but I think it's the movement of the ball that makes it difficult to hit her.
Yeah, I agree.
I think what's going to be interesting for her is that when she develops, you know, a really strong, like, off-speed pitch, she's going to be deadly. And really, what a great at-bat here from Maggie Rasmussen. I mean, she has fouled off, you know,
3.
I'd say, well, 3, but, you know, these are tough pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Still 0-2, runner at first base and Paige DeRocher. And that one is hit out of play. And
Foul.
Misiorski gave way, but unfortunately, she was not able to grab that one. So it's another foul ball.
We may have to see a little bit of a changeup today.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, you know, normally you're going to expect it in this level of play, you know, first 5 hitters can pretty much whack the ball. That was high and outside for a 1-2 count. But the one thing about Chouinard that has been very impressive this year, she mixes up her pitches so well, always keeping those batters off balance. And a high heater strikes out Maggie Rasmussen. So Gifford gets her first strikeout. But overall, a very good at bat for Maggie Rasmussen, who I think fouled off like 6-7 pitches. I mean, it was quite an at bat. So the center fielder, Nicole Pitt, steps in. And that one was a high heater, but a little bit high and outside for ball 1.
Right fielder looks like she's playing a little shallow. Left field and center are back.
That's right in there for a strike. That was right over the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the first inning as Sanborn takes on Goffstown.
Another one.
Another one
nice
right down
pitch.
the middle. And quickly, it's a 1-2 count to Nicole Pitts. Paige DeRocher still at first base after she hit a bloop single over first. And that's popped out of play really high, and that's going to go on the roof. That'll be a roof ball. So how much do softballs cost now? It's like $8-10 for a ball, a good ball, I guess?
It's an expensive.
Yeah, so here in Goffstown, I'd say probably half a dozen go on that roof. High and away, a 2-2 count. And another high heater, and that gets Nicole Pitts for another strikeout.
Looks like they want that high pitch.
Yeah, Brittany Thompson steps in. She's the third baseman, cleanup hitter. And that one is also up and high for the first ball.
Little semi-crouch here on this batter.
Yeah. And I'm not so sure, you know, the shortstop.
Late break.
This is, and again, I don't want to be critical of our players. She needs to kind of break quickly, and she was not even remotely there. And because she's playing so far in the hole, you really have to, you know, as soon as you hear break, you steal, and you got to run. And she didn't do that in that particular case. So runner at second base, and that ball's popped up and out of play. Allie Lombardi went after that one. I think if she would have caught it, she would have been out of play anyway because
you know, on that stolen base, it came from the bench. It didn't come from the players that were calling it.
But you heard loud screams, and again, it just seemed like it was like a split second. That's a wild pitch way over the head of the catcher. So now a runner goes down to third.
Tried to put a little too much on that one.
So now, got to be a little bit careful here because they've manufactured between a steal and a wild pitch. There's a runner at third in scoring position with 2 outs. Brittany Thompson, third baseman. And wow, great
nice
play
stop
by Lombardi on a high one.
So we got a full count here.
Yeah. Here comes a battle pitch. Payoff pitch coming here from Gifford. And that's right in there. So she ends up striking out the side.
Great job. So the stolen base and the wild pitch didn't hurt him.
Right.
They got that one runner left on with 1 hit. No runs.
Yeah, Lombardi made quite the grab on that pitch. I mean, that's not an easy play, and the ball's coming in probably, 55 miles an hour. And, again, this is not like baseball. You don't have, 60 feet to react. So,
no. So we're going to start off this game. It looks like we have a batting average of 381 as a team. That's pretty good. I looked down the list here, and we got somebody at 545. I think that's Gifford at 545. A couple people at 400. So we have been hitting the ball. We need to really do that today. All right, now look at the pitcher is slight of build, and I wonder if she's a junk baller because she hasn't shown anything really quick the first 2 throws.
Yeah. I agree. She hasn't shown that she has a dominant fastball in her first 3 warm-ups.
Catcher's got a nice arm, though. All right, so Kate's going to step in here as our first hitter today. She's at 276, but I'm pretty sure that she scored 13 runs.
And they've scouted Goffstown because they know Misiorski's got tremendous speed, so they're playing her for the bunt. Ball's a little bit high. That pitch was a little bit high. Umpire called it a ball. Another one right under her chin. Ball 2.
Notice the pitcher. I just noticed her. She puts her hand in a glove and then she's feeling for her grips. See how her hands move?
All in the same spot. He called that a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. I always get a little bit nervous here. And you look at the third baseman and the first baseman. They're not wearing any protective gear for their face, and they're playing 6 steps in. And in this game, I mean, there's like no time to react.
Only takes 1 shot.
Right. 3-1 count.
Well, no one in their infield except for the pitcher has one on the.
Now we got a full 2 count, so she's got to protect. One of the things that players also need to recognize here in these drop strike 3 situations, they got to run, and just again, you got to keep your head in these things. And she goes down swinging.
That was a battle back on the part of the pitcher.
No doubt about it.
Well, Lombardi's up. Lombardi's got a 469 batting average. She scored 11 runs.
Both pitchers look to be working the high end of the strike zone today. I haven't seen too many in the dirt. That one looked good. Right down there for a 1-1 count.
Boy, they are in at the corners, though.
Yeah. So I want to do a special shout out to George Gifford in Florida. He's the grandfather of Shannon Gifford. I heard that he watches our broadcasts on YouTube way down in Florida where he lives. And that's a strike.
Ooh.
You know, that's one of the nice things about our broadcast is that, you know, you've got a lot of family and friends who want to watch these girls play. Obviously, they're not here physically, but they can watch these games via Facebook, YouTube. That ball's popped out of play. Foul on the first base side. She runs it out, but that was clearly far down the line. Count remains at 2-2. So, you know, I guess my request is for folks, if you're out there and you're far away, you know, like us on Facebook at Goffstown Television. Let us know where you're from. That'll get back to us. We'll give you a shout out too.
Ooh, good eye.
Yeah.
Good
3-2
eye.
count. That ball is a little bit on the inside, but you know she's crowding the plate a bit. So this is the second full count in a row. And she hits a high one to left field. Under it is the left fielder for the catch.
DuBois.
DuBois.
So Taylor's in with a 346 average after she shook off that early season injury. She should be rounding really into good shape.
Yeah. I always wonder sometimes, does she overswing, you know, because she puts so much behind it that she almost like falls out of her cleats.
She's not going to get cheated.
Oh, never.
Ooh.
You know, it's interesting. It doesn't seem to me that the pitcher has, you know, dominant type speed, but they're certainly not getting really that many even good swings against her. Taz Taylor Gagnon, affectionately called Taz, is in an 0-2 hole. She fouls that one off. And see, she's fouling it off, but look at her feet.
Yeah.
You know, she's like.
Yep. Again, everything's been up to these players.
Right. Well, both pitchers are pitching to the upper part of the plate, to the strike zone. One-two count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless.
I don't understand what the shortstop's doing with her arm above her head.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like she's blocking the sun.
Hailing a taxi or what?
Yeah, I don't know. And we can't, unfortunately, show that because I don't know if Darryl can see it. But guess what? Another full count.
Yeah.
So this is our third full count. I don't know if we can get Darryl to scan the shortstop. I don't know if he's even listening. He can't hear. That's fouled off.
Good.
So we were saying the shortstop seems to have her hand up, Darryl. Darryl's our cameraman today. And we're kind of curious as to why she puts her glove up in the air before the pitch. But see if she does it here. She doesn't do it here. And that's a pop-up. That is playable. And a nice catch.
Yeah.
Very nice catch against the fence by the third baseman. And that would be Brittany Thompson. So Taylor Gagnon pops out to third, and that ends the first. As we go into the top of the second inning, we are scoreless.
Well, so Brad, we have to revisit a couple things from the last time we had a broadcast. I wanted to know if you made it through the taco day.
I did. I went down there, and man, I did have a lot of tacos. It was so crowded though that you literally had to wait online 15, 20 minutes, sometimes longer to get one. But it was probably the busiest that I've ever seen it down there. I think the word is out in the streets that this is like the thing to do.
But you had no adverse reactions
No.
or no stomach issues?
No,
nothing?
no,
All right.
definitely no stomach issues. I have to say that I'm trying to think of my favorite one was there's a Mexican restaurant that is right next to the Verizon Center called El Rincon. And I thought their taco was the best. That was my opinion, but a lot of good. Man, it was good.
All right, so we move now to the top of the second with 5, 6, and 7 up for them.
Number 11, I'm sorry. Number 11, Grace Dubois.
So Grace Dubois steps in, the left fielder. She had a nice catch. And that's a heater right down the middle by Gifford, who
Boy.
struck out the side in the first.
It's really a contrast in pitching styles today.
That late swing. You know, Purcell's got to really be awake here because a pitcher like Gifford, you're going to get, with right-handed batters, they swing late, that ball is going to go to first or second base. That was in there. So that's her fourth strikeout. Caught her looking. In steps Brooke DeRoche.
DeRoche, designated player.
That's a great pitch. That was low and inside, right at the knees.
Took a little bit off it, I
Yeah.
think.
That's another strike. That was on the outside part of the plate. So now she's starting to work corners. She started off in the first inning just trying to get the ball over. And she has another strikeout.
Right now, she is in a groove.
Yeah.
She is in a groove.
In steps number 10, the pitcher, Nicole Tebow. And that one was clearly inside to the pitcher. I always like these pitcher versus pitcher battles. She didn't even get a full swing on that one. That was almost a defensive swing.
Yeah. Ball was almost by her,
Yeah.
and she was swinging.
That's high, late swing. That's almost another roof ball, but not quite. And hopefully somebody will chase that sucker down. It's behind the recycling containers. Someone's going after that one. That's in the dirt for 2-2
Nice
count.
pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one of the parents is going over there. And there's Butch Gifford. 3-2 count. So he must be in the outfield. He probably can't. He's probably trying to stay low key. That's fouled off. You know, he's daughter pitching and everything. Maybe he gets like nervous or something, right? Right. We won't talk about him, but we know that his dad is watching the game from Florida.
Ooh,
And that's
close.
a great pitch, but that's going to be a walk.
Close.
So Tebow, I don't even know if she was even interested in even swinging in that at bat, but
Number 8 hit her up. They keep the pitcher in the game, too, to run.
that's behind
Nice
her.
pickup.
Yep. You know, the key for Gifford, I mean, if she, like, she's in that groove, you know, and she gets into that groove, she's kind of unstoppable. But it's control. And that's the second pitch that's kind of gotten away from her.
Step back, take a deep breath, put yourself together.
2 balls, no strikes with 2 outs. Runner at first in the pitcher. And that ball gets behind. So it's a 3-0 count. I'd go out there and talk to her, but
Pass ball.
3-0 count to Brennan. And that ball gets by again. So again, kind of, a very interesting a series of events here. First two players couldn't put a bat on the ball. Very dominant, and now she's this is a good job by Lombardi, kind of going out there and talking to her to kind of settle her down, get back into a groove here. As Sarah Bebo, number 20, steps in. But it just goes to show in terms of any pitcher, if your mechanics go slightly off, I mean, I'm talking slightly, you throw the ball into the dirt as opposed to hitting strikes.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I would think that the first base runner is going to take off.
Ball. No, ball.
That was a ball. That ball's popped up to Purcell. I mean, that was a very, very catchable ball. And I'm not so sure what happened there. I mean, if that ball was not even 5 feet from where she was standing.
I think she felt the base going back.
She took the wrong angle to it or something. Yeah. That pitch is high. So that was an opportunity for Goffstown to get out of the inning. Could not capitalize on I thought was a play that could have been made. And that's a strike. Runner takes second base, not throwing. So now we've got runners in scoring position at second and third base with 2 outs. Bebo has a 2-2 count. Shannon Gifford just needs to get the ball over here. And that's strike 3. So big strikeout. Caught her looking. And that will end it.
No runs, no hits.
Yeah.
2 runners left on.
According to my calculations, Gifford has struck out every out.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Correct.
All right.
But that means you got to go and talk to your infielders and keep them awake.
Yeah,
Don't just depend on the pitcher. They could get in a routine where, she's going to strike her out and not be ready for the next pitch. The next ball may be hit to them.
Let's go back to talking about food for a second. So I went this afternoon, right before here, I had to pick up my daughter in Waltham from college. And I went to this Italian deli. And I tell you, that's one of the things that I say I miss about living in New Hampshire. I don't know if you lived here your whole life, Bill, but the food is good, but it's not the top that I don't know. There's a lot of like delis, and you just don't get what you can get in Boston, and pizza and some other things.
I'm from Philadelphia, so it was Pat's Steakhouse and Gino's. And if you didn't have that, you were in deep trouble, I'll tell you right now.
I've been there. I actually like Gino's better than Pat's. I was just my I didn't know. I've been there many times. It's now that neighborhood is not the greatest.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know what it was back in the day, but I had like an unbelievable cheesesteak. I went to that in Philly, was in that Reading Terminal Market in downtown Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, awesome food there. So as we go into the bottom of the second inning, the pitcher, Shannon Gifford, and she's been on fire with the bat. She's batting over 500 so far for the season. And I heard that she hit a home run yesterday. And she hits one right to the first baseman. You can. So Purcell is wearing a brace, some sort of a protective thing on her shin.
You got to swing through.
I don't understand
swing
that.
Through the ball. Don't stop.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Why is third and first playing in? I mean, this girl can throw one right down your throat. Right? I mean, it's dangerous. And you mentioned this in our prior broadcast, is that you've picked up on this, is that Purcell, unlike, last year, she doesn't seem to be taking full swings. That hit her, so I don't know why.
I think he said it hit the knob of the bat.
But that hit her on the elbow. So what happened? Oh, her elbow was over the plate? Is that what they're saying? And she goes down swinging. This is amazing. I have to say that. I mean, we've watched the players and for Goffstown who have hit the ball really well. And this particular, it's only been an inning and a half, 2 innings, but just haven't really had anything good. Not one player has really had a good solid stroke on the ball.
No contact.
Yeah. That's a great pitch.
Amber has a 227 average. Scored 8 runs so far.
That looked pretty good, and she doesn't get it. So a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning, still scoreless. She fouls it off.
Maybe this pitcher is going to create a little more problems for us. I know if you got a girl that brings the ball pretty good, we can sting it.
Yeah. Well, she's not bringing it like ultra. She's not bringing it slow.
No.
I mean, but that's a high fly ball.
They're lost.
This is trouble
They're
right
lost.
here. And she gets underneath it, but that looked a little shaky. But that ball's caught by the right fielder. Who do we have playing right again?
It was Pitts.
Yeah, that's Nicole Pitts made that catch. Although I thought Pitts was playing center field, I thought. No? I thought she was.
Okay, my fault.
Ashley Wood. Right.
Okay.
The game is still scoreless after 2 innings.
So let's see if this inning Gifford can get back to her control, get it back, get away from those full counts. And
I would agree, but I'm a little nervous with the Goffstown bats right now. They have not. It's a little bit of a different story when you hit sharp line drives and right at somebody, or you put good wood on it, or in this case it's not wood, it's fiberglass. But we haven't seen. There really haven't been any strong at bats of the players that have stepped up to the plate for Goffstown so far through 2. So that always gets me a little nervous. But the big sign is, what do you do second time around in the order? So as you get used to a pitcher. So Paige DeRocher, and she singled over Megan Purcell in that first inning and then stole second base to get into scoring position.
so let's see.
She hits
again.
one to Purcell, who takes it herself.
Oh, God. Yep.
Yeah, well, she's swinging late and on those pitches. So that's the first out that was non-Gifford related.
Right. Strikeout on a high pitch from this girl.
That's another pop-up.
Call.
Gifford calls it, and that's the second out. So it's a pop-up, so she gets that out as well on the assist. So
This next girl also struck out.
yeah, that was
on
Nicole.
a high pitch.
That's Nicole Pitts. That's a center fielder. That one looked good, but doesn't think so. One good thing for Shannon is that she's quickly got it 2 outs in a lot of these innings. So even though she worked into a little bit of trouble. Hmm. 3-0 count. And that she takes a base on balls. You know, it's got to be pretty tough for a freshman, you know, to come in here, starting pitcher.
Against a good team, too.
Yeah, right. Brittany Thompson. I'm sorry, we have a switch up here. Laurel Willette. Okay.
Willette.
So Willette comes in. Laurel Willette. One count to her. And she's playing second base.
I think the second baseman went to third.
Okay. That should be in there for a strike. Did he give it to her?
No.
He didn't. Wow. That looked like a great pitch. And we've got a really good vantage point here. I know you can't see us on GTV. That's a strike. String is what?
Yep.
Yeah. So she strikes out, but we got a really good vantage point. So when we do, I guess, criticize Blue, we can pretty much say it with, I'm not saying not total authorities. We're not over the plate like he is, but we are pretty close.
I don't know if we're criticizing or we're just giving our opinion.
Our opinion. But I think we're fairly good with that because, I mean, even when the other pitcher doesn't get a strike or something, we kind of call that too. So we're pretty fair.
So we go now into the bottom of the third, Watterson, Schwinnard, and Lendry. Watterson comes in with a .310 average. I think she's been a surprise.
Yeah, yeah. I think with Watterson, her bat has been very good, and I think her fielding's been pretty good. It's those little intangibles which I think it's going to come. You know, I mean, like on those we broadcast I've broadcast 3 games, and that's the second or third time that I've seen her break late on a stolen base. So it's those little things, and it's again. Those are gonna, this is her first year playing varsity level. She's only gonna get better game after game, and those little things, I from what I've seen from covering softball, the players get better over time.
I think it's positioning too.
Yeah.
I think you got to know the situation, and I think you got to understand maybe you have to shorten up in some situations.
You know, it's funny because in softball, I just don't see a ton of balls going to shortstop. I see a lot going to third. I see a lot going many times to second and first. The pitcher, I just don't see a ton going to the shortstop. And she hits one to the shortstop. So isn't that ironic, right? First pitch swinging.
And again, not a solid hit. Well, what do you think? Think she's going to bunt?
No, I don't think so. Not they're playing so far in. Late swing on that one. I give credit to the pitcher for Sanborn, Nicole Tebow. She's pitched a great game. Kept Goffstown players off balance. This is a good hitting team, and they have not done much. And that's a strike.
Third baseman broke. The first baseman was coming down.
I think if you're going to do it, I think you're going to probably go to first base here because it's an awkward throw for the first baseman. Then second baseman's got to cover. And she goes after one that is like way over her head. So Chouinard goes down swinging, and that was not the greatest at bat either. And I think that's the third strikeout for Tebow.
Landry at 464.
Very big surprise for Landry
Yep.
In that spot, you know. And she swings through it.
I wish we were behind this pitcher to see what she has
In terms of movement.
on the movement.
Yeah.
Strike.
You know, the umpire is been calling them very consistently, and you're going to get that high strike. And Landry strikes out. So Nicole Tebow makes quick work of the Goffstown lineup in the bottom of the third inning, and we're still scoreless. So so far it's been a bit of a pitcher's duel, although Sanborn has done a better job of getting runners into scoring position. They stranded 2 runners, I think, in the first inning, and then the L stranded, I think, another set of runners.
2 in the second.
2 in the second. So they've had their opportunities more so than Goffstown. We haven't gotten anybody over to first base yet. So no one. I mean, she's pitching. There's a no-hitter for Sanborn's Tebow through 3. And again, there hasn't even been a good bat on ball situation for Goffstown.
Not a good solid strike.
Right. Nope, nothing. There has not been a sharply hit ball coming off a bat for any Goffstown player so far. Now, hopefully that will change. You know, again, you go through that lineup and you see what the pitcher can do, and then you make your adjustments. And Matt is pretty good. Coach Fleming and his coaching staff are pretty good about making adjustments. Sometimes it's a little thing like, hey, I want you to step back a little bit in the batter's box, see if the ball's going to break, those types of things. But he's good about that.
Nice throw.
Yeah. I think what obviously what Goffstown needs is they need some little bit of spark of energy. They're getting, you know, it's one of those things where you're getting a really good pitching performance from a freshman holding this team scoreless, and you need these bats offensively to come to life.
A little conference there between number 11 and the coach.
Yep. So
before
Dubois,
she steps in.
She might be laying down a bunt here. Let's see how. Nope. That's ball 1.
They were aggressive in the first. I wonder if they're going to hold off a little bit until the strikes gets on them.
And she swings through that one. That's high and outside. 2-1 count. And that's evened up 2-2.
When Gifford gets in that groove, she's there. She's around the plate. She's inside, outside.
And that's the K.
Yep.
How many strikeouts does she have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 8?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. Brooke LaRoche steps in. She's a designated player for Sanborn. She swings through that one. She struck out her first time at bat. You know, you don't see Shannon Gifford. She's obviously taking the signals from Ali Lombardi, but you don't see her shaking off anything. It's pretty much I'm firing. I don't know. She's just firing away. That was a great pitch. Took a little off that one. And now it's quickly a 1-2 count. In the top of the 4th inning, we are scoreless here in Goffstown.
Strike 3.
And that's strike 3. So Gifford rings her up, and that's for a 9th strikeout through 3.5 here. And the pitcher got on with a base on balls. Very, very similar situation to what we have now, where she was able to get the first 2 batters out, and then she walked Tebow, and she delivers a ball to Tebow now. So Tebow did not even really take the bat off of her shoulder that much against Gifford. And she hits one to shortstop. Watterson throws it over to Purcell, who stretches for the out. So a nice play by Watterson, who fielded it cleanly. Nice throw over to Purcell. And that ends the top of the 4th inning.
No runs, no hits. A lot of zeros today. A lot of zeros. So we're coming back here with the top of our lineup.
Yeah, so we'll start off again with Misiorski, who struck out in his, she actually had a very favorable count, and then Tebow battled back and was able to strike her out swinging.
What I noticed looking at the statistics for Misiorski, she has struck out 10 times.
And that's something that's challenging when you're the leadoff hitter. You know, the one thing that you want in a leadoff hitter is somebody obviously who gets on base, whether that be through balls or anything. But you want to be you don't want to be someone who's striking out at the top of the order.
Right. Be selective.
Right,
work
exactly.
the count.
Work counts. Because the other thing too that you're doing when you're leading off is even if you go deep in a count, you're showing the person behind you what type of pitches the girl has. So now everybody on the Goffstown team, the lineup has seen this pitcher, Tebow, who's pitched a gem of a game so far. This reminds me of that other game that was at Plymouth where we were like 5 innings, nothing, scoreless, and then Goffstown just broke it open.
Yeah, they made a couple errors, and we capitalized on the errors.
So, this is the blueprint of that game. Seems eerily similar. Field looks great today. I guess it's all that 50-degree temperature and rain.
That nice spring,
yeah. She bunts it over to third, who bobbles it, and she's safe. So it's a great bunt by Misiorski. More than likely, that's probably an error. She was charging.
Right.
So I'm not sure. We're not the official scorers, but
E5.
But there was concurrence between you and I on that one.
If she had fielded it, she would have got her out.
I think so. Or it would have been pretty close. Because she was, look how far in she is. And now this right here, this is like almost suicidal with Allie Lombardi. I'm serious. She's like 20 feet away. Just not called a strike. That looked like it was inside. Blue called that a strike. So it's I want to see if Misiorski takes off here.
Look at how deep their shortstop is.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole point, Bill, is that the shortstop is playing so far deep in the hole. The second baseman's not going to go over there. So I think this is a great opportunity Misiorski's got awesome speed. And that ball is tattooed over the head. Misiorski should be able to score from here if they send her, and they are going to send her. And here comes the throw to home, and she's safe. And Lombardi is going to be going home, and the play is safe. Lombardi gets a triple. Then with the throwing error is able to score. So Goffstown plates 2 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning on a triple by Lombardi. That was a good job by Misiorski. She had to hold up on that because the right fielder indicated that she had a play on the ball. So she went halfway, and then when that ball went over her head, Misiorski put on the Jets, and no brainer that she was coming home. So now Tebow throws a high one over Gagnon's head for a ball.
I know it's not a lot of room back here, but you always try to get somebody backing up the catcher.
That's ball 2.
That ball was hit hard.
Yeah, that was the first solidly hit ball all day long for Goffstown.
So maybe giving up those runs has put a little.
Well, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, she was very
Rolling
dominant
along,
pitching
yeah.
situation. Now it's a 3-0 count. She shows bunt, pulls it back, but it's a strike. So Taz is another one. Taylor Gagnon, she can rope him. I'd just be very cautious if I'm the third baseman or the first baseman here. And she's going to pop one over to the shortstop. Nice play,
Yeah.
Nice range by the shortstop. So Shannon
Gifford up.
So Hannah Gifford with one out.
She popped out to the first baseman.
Wow, what a swing on that one.
She's batting cleanup because she's got the highest batting average on the team.
Yeah, so you've got a freshman for Goffstown. Not only is she on the team, but she's the starting pitcher, and she's batting in the cleanup. No pressure. She hits a pop-up. That is sky high to the second baseman. And she runs that out. Gifford runs that out. So she got under that one. That thing was popped up to second for the out. So Megan Purcell is struck out in the first at bat. And we just want to see her extend, right?
Yeah. Get her whole upper body.
Right. We want to see
this.
extension on the swing. And man, I cannot believe that the third baseman, Megan Purcell, is not going to bunt here. And that ball's hit sharply to second and for the out. So Goffstown picks up 2 runs.
One hit.
On one hit, it was an error on the third baseman, which landed Misiorski over to first on her attempted bunt. And then Allie Lombardi crushed one to right field, right center, scoring Misiorski. And then on that throwing error, was able to score herself. So, again, little things in softball. That if the throw does not go home, which it shouldn't have in that situation, Lombardi stays at third, and potentially it's only a 1-run pickup because you never know what happened, but there was no play here that would have scored Lombardi from third, absent a wild pitch or something like that. So,
unless they believe it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Yep.
That's the only option there.
Well, Matt Fleming is going to send her. Is going to take chances on those things. So, especially with the situation of the game as it's been presented itself.
But there was no communication either on the part of Sanborn.
Nope.
At all.
Nobody. And a lot of times it's the catcher who's saying that, cut to or, whatever it is, and you didn't hear anything. So we head to the top of the 5th inning. Goffstown is up 2-0. And who do we got leading off here? This is Brennan? Abby Brennan.
So she got on a base and balls and advanced to second. And we're into inning number 5.
Top of 5, Abby Brennan, number 8.
This girl's way up in the box. Look
Yeah.
at her.
That's right down the middle. Strike 1. Strike 2.
See, I'm a little perplexed with her batting so far forward.
Especially,
If Gifford's got this good speed, and it looks like a bit of a rise ball, too.
Yes. That ball is kind of a junk pitch, wasted. See if she chased it. She didn't. I think in this situation you're looking at another one of those. If you're going to waste one high and away.
Change up.
Change up. but it's still a great count for Gifford, 1 and 2 here. I would throw a high heater, high and outside. She's a tall girl. So that's strike 3. Ooh. That's her 10th, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3. Number 10. You know what I do is I have my own little cheat sheet. You keep the book. I don't. I think I have like 15 or 16 spots for strikeouts. Great play by Goffstown. So Purcell comes in, didn't make a play on it, but Gifford fields it, and an awesome play by Chouinard. Kaylee Chouinard, really great speed. So again, the learning opportunity here, for those of you who watch this, is that Chouinard literally got her high horse to first base. So, and she had a long way to go.
She broke on the bunt.
Yep, she broke on it. That's a strike. So Paige DeRocher, she singled and grounded out to first. So the ball is going. She chased another one. So I would be very alert if I'm Chouinard, and they are. I mean, they're playing a little bit in. Ooh, that one looked pretty good.
Backed her up, though.
Yeah. Both these teams, though, I think are kind of close to the plate. We know Purcell was. I mean, she got hit while her elbow was over the plate. It's a live ball.
Two to 3. No runs, no hits, another inning.
All right, so now we're going to head to the bottom of the 5th. Still Goffstown up 2-0. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if Matt if Coach expected this type of a game. I don't know. I got the impression that he thought that the hits would be coming on this one. No disrespect to Sanborn, but I thought that he could really string some good runs.
Well, again, I'm looking at this pitcher. She doesn't really have the real speed like we do, but her ball must be doing something, because we're not getting a good piece except for the hit by.
Yeah, but Bill, what I've seen though, and again, I don't know if your book demonstrates it, but I think we have 3, if not 4, first pitch outs where we swung. So it's not like we're taking pitches here,
right?
We're not making her pitch. You're almost. And of those 3 or 4 where we've had that first pitch swing, they've been kind of feeble type outs. No disrespect to the ladies, but they haven't been hit. They haven't been hit hard.
Davis, Watterson, and Chouinard.
So Amber, she flied out to right field. Her first at bat. Well, I tell you, Sanborn is basically their defense is basically, you will not bunt on us. But although we did lay down one and there was an error, but they are playing really far in at first and third. I'd almost love to see a bunt to first base.
Yeah,
because I'd like to see if the second baseman for Sanborn can get over there as quickly as Chouinard can. That's a good pitch. That's a really nice pitch. That was right at Amber Davis's knees on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 count. And that looked pretty good too, but he didn't call it.
Yeah, I wonder if the catcher blocked him out, because she.
Yeah, but that was right over the plate. I mean, that was it was the same distance. It was at her knees, but it's the same pitch, but it's just over the plate. Third baseman, and that's going to be another error on third baseman. And that's what you get when you play so far in. You don't have any time to react, so it's almost unfair to her. She's playing so far in. I think if she was a couple of steps in from the bag, she makes that play no problem.
If you notice, she backhanded. Yeah. She didn't even move her feet.
Right. So Watterson is up. She lined to the, that is fouled off. And you know what? The second baseman broke pretty good over to first. So much like Chouinard, soon as that bat was in that bunting position, the second baseman broke hard. Did the same thing here. Nice job.
Come on. Keep coming.
That was the typical bunt, first to third, nicely executed by Goffstown.
So we get
So
the runner
I don't know
at
if she
third.
got hurt on that play. She might have jammed.
And Watterson was out, 1-3, right?
Yeah. And a really great play. I'm going to give credit to the second baseman for Sanborn. Who is that now? Is that
That was the third.
that was Laurel Willette,
Mm-hmm.
who, I mean, she went all the way over from her position to get there, which is what you're taught to do.
Another one.
All right, so that's really good small ball by Goffstown. So Chouinard bunts, forces the throw over to first, and that was, you can't execute that any better by Goffstown. So again, I know that they look at our broadcasts, and that's picture perfect.
Yeah.
And in a tight game, you know, Coach Fleming recognized he's got a girl in player, young woman in Chouinard who knows how to bunt and who's really good at it. Also very fast to get down the line, so it's really no harm there. So the ball gets fielded cleanly, throws over to first, and then the quick reaction to send the runner from third. That was picture perfect.
Coach came out, and I don't know what he was saying, unless it was something about the defense and.
Yeah, but unless they talked about this, you know, prior, which I don't think that they did. I mean.
Oh, if they scouted us, they know Chouinard's a bunter.
Yeah,
right?
but then what do you do in that situation?
Right.
Do you give up? You know, do you get the out and or run the risk of going? Do you run the risk of potentially having runners at second and third with only one out? So I think it was the right move. I do.
If the person had made her stop coming down the line.
Yeah, maybe then, but. So Lendry is quickly in a 0-2 hole. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, 3-0 Goffstown. Lendry hits one to left field, and that ball is caught for the third out of the inning.
So we score a run without a hit.
But you know what? That's the way it goes, right?
So they're coming up with 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a really big insurance run for Goffstown. You got a freshman pitcher in the circle with a 2-run lead, and really, when you think about it, I think what do we have here? 1 hit.
Yeah.
1 hit.
We have 1 hit.
We have 1 hit.
They have 2.
Right. So.
Or no, they have 1, I think.
The only hit that I recall for Goffstown is Alyssa Lombardi's triple. That's it. I think we gave an error on the bunt.
It's a 1 hit.
Yeah, right.
All right.
And on for the other team, I have a single by Paige DeRocher to lead it off over Megan Purcell's head. That was a bloop one, and that was it too. She's got 10 strikeouts right now. So we're in the top of the 6th. We gotta raise that up here. Brad Parkhurst, our able-bodied jack of all trades, public address, scoreboard, you name it. Brad does it all.
So this girl is struck out on a high pitch early and then popped out to the pitcher.
That's popped
up in the air, find it.
And that's out of play. Bill, you got pretty you got excited on that one. You thought that she might have had a play there almost.
I like to see a catcher make a play like that. It's the hardest play for them to make.
Yeah. It was the rotation of the ball, and this girl at the plate now, she loves the high heater. So give her the high heat. I don't think she can catch up to it. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Same thing. It's like she was like Taylor Gagnon in that first at bat where she swung so hard. Hannah Gifford has a 1-2 count on number 18. That ball swung late.
So you should see something there. She's not getting around on it.
Right. That's why I don't think there's any harm here. Just throw the high heater.
No.
The other thing is I'm a little surprised that Landry is playing her straight away.
Yeah.
That's a big gap in my opinion. I'd move Landry over probably a good 5-6 steps, and same thing here. I don't think anybody's pulling. I don't think she's pulling it. I could be wrong, but
you might even take your shortstop again as we're talking a couple steps toward the second.
She's playing so far in the hole. You're right. And that's her 11th strikeout.
Oh, my gosh.
So Grandpa George in Florida must be pretty happy right now with the performance of his granddaughter.
Probably sitting on the veranda with a nice cold soda. So this girl has struck out also in the first and then had a base on balls.
She barely got a piece of that one. That's an 0-2 count.
This is a dominant pitching performance by this girl.
Yeah, yep, I would agree. And I think that's where you put it. It's not that dangerous because they're chasing it, but they've been chasing that pitch all day long. I like that one too. 2-2 count. Tell you, I got these mechanical pencils, Bill. I hate them. That's popped up.
Who's going
See
to
who calls it? Amber Davis.
Good play, Amber.
Yeah.
No, that is a play for the outfielder coming in a situation like that. She struck out her first time up.
And
slow on the
that's just a tough. That's why I think here you just continue to throw fastballs. I mean, that one was a little low. We got away with that.
We'll take it.
We'll take it, right?
I think she took something off it too.
And that's going to be to Watterson, and that's the
F6.
third out. So we're going to go to the bottom of the sixth inning. That was quick work by Shannon Gifford. She comes off with a smile. And great job by Gifford. And we'll head into the bottom of the sixth inning. So Gifford, through 6 innings, has 11 strikeouts and has given up 1 bloop hit. That's it. The rest.
The furthest they got to her was, on third base? They got somebody to third.
Yeah, but that was on. Again, wild pitch. A couple of pass balls, or wild pitches.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard somebody say 13 for 22. So Laurel Willette is out of the game, and in comes Madison Lovely. So she'll take over, I guess, in the 4-hole.
Mm-hmm.
Second base.
All right, we're back at the top of the order, which is good. So,
Maybe do the same thing. You drag that bunt down the first base side and put the girl who just came in the game, Lovely, see if she covers first. Well, as we know, Willette did a good job on that one.
now she's seen her throw to her twice.
Yeah.
She should really be ready for this way up in the box. Gonna bunt.
Nice play.
Nice play.
What a great play by the
Nice
third
play.
baseman, Sarah Bebo. That's the fruits of, I guess, the benefits of being so close. She got a great jump on that ball. And now here comes Lombardi, who was the only hit for Goffstown, which was a rocket shot triple. And they're playing her in that same exact spot. So they're playing her on the warning track. And I can guarantee you that Lombardi will not be bunting. Two-0 count.
I don't really think this girl wants to throw anything too good to her
No,
either.
I wouldn't. I mean, not with what she's been the only one to tag her, so why even bother giving up a?
Yeah, there's no other. Yeah.
Right. Nobody else has touched her, so I would pitch around her. She doesn't listen to me. She gets a strike.
No.
So I doubt that they're going to give her anything good to hit. I mean, it would surprise me.
And she has to be really
Selective, right?
Yeah.
You got to just be.
That's it.
Yeah. So the pitcher was saying, you know what, I'm going to try to get the corners if I can, and she didn't. So Lombardi draws a walk.
Hit the left field, and then nice play by the shortstop.
But Taylor also has not really put
Solid.
a solid bat to the
No.
ball. So
No.
they were both like kind of pop-ups. But she has no strong line drives.
Would you send Lombardi?
Yes.
Look where the second baseman is.
Yeah. Clearly the shortstop is putting her
Yeah.
hand up to say, I'm the one taking the throw
Right.
on a steal. But yeah, I do. Why not? Lombardi's a great base runner. Although in warm-ups we thought that the catcher had a pretty decent arm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's hard to steal in softball because you can't go
There's
until
no
the ball
lead, right.
until the ball is released from the pitcher's hand. And it's popped up. I think it's almost like she's like dropping that back elbow. I mean, are you seeing that? It seems that's why it's not a whole lot of.
It's not a fluid
Yeah.
swing. It's a muscle up swing.
Yeah. Full count to Gagnon. So again, looks like the pitcher for Sanborn, Tebow, she's gone into quite a few full counts today. That ball's hit to third base. That's going to be in the hole. That's going to be safe all the way around.
Got to give her that one.
I'll give her a hit, but I tell you, that's just when the third baseman plays so far in, there's no angle.
No.
So I'll tell you, I know I'm just an announcer here. I did coach a little bit when my kids were younger, but I don't understand that. I mean, these are not – if you know this team, if you know Goffstown, you know that there are probably 3 or 4 players who will probably bunt on you. I'll give you that. But when you have your 3-hitter is not going to be bunting there. She's not shown a bunt.
Third baseman is not really very quick either, too.
Right. So you want to give – I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Gifford could do a lot for herself here with a single.
Third base, that's a force out. That's safe. So Gifford kind of gets a fielder's choice. I don't know, what does she get on that? I mean, it's almost
a fielder's
choice. But so the bases are loaded, and that was a relatively, I guess, easy play. She could have taken it herself, I thought. No? Or, what do you think?
Yeah.
Tough, but.
Yeah. But again,
the shortstop.
Tossing the ball,
right.
And you're tossing the ball to a moving player.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Gotta have a hit.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, but that one is one you're gonna put. You got to put a bat on that one.
Yeah.
That's outside for a 1-1 count. So we've got 1 out, bases loaded for Goffstown. Megan Purcell, who has yet hit a home run this year.
Last
year she
drive the ball.
She hit plenty of them, but this year she's and that was not a fluid swing either. That was a little late on that one. So it's a 1-2 count to Megan Purcell. Bases all loaded up, waiting for the grand slam. Wow, 2-2 count.
You got to swing. You got to
right.
swing.
In this situation, better to go down swinging than to get called out on a call 3.
Yeah.
And she swings through it. She's struggling a little bit at the plate.
Yeah. All right, Amber, let's go. Let's bring a run in or 2.
So Amber Davis, she flied out to right field and got on base on an error. So she now has the bases jammed. And that ball's to third base. She runs it out, and nice play by the third baseman. And Sanborn gets out of a big jam there. Bases loaded with only 1 out to keep this thing, within reach.
So we had no runs, 1 hit, 3 runners left on base. All right.
So Gifford goes in to close out this game. She goes in with 11 strikeouts, pitching a 1-hitter. Couldn't ask for a better performance from your freshman.
She faces the number 5, 6, and 7 batters. And in that group, she has 4 strikeouts. The pitcher there got a walk, and that's the only person in this group to get on base.
So far the story for the game for Goffstown is sleepy bats, but when they got some runs, they've scratched for some runs. Opportune. I mean, so we got three runs on 2 hits all game, and it was really 3 runs on 1 hit.
Right.
So challenging for Goffstown to have any success at the plate, which has kind of been the exact opposite of their story this year. So, again, I haven't seen any of their losses this year, but in terms of the games that I have seen, I've been very impressed with their hitting. And this game, not so much.
No, I'm going to see what they did against.
Is it Pelham?
Pelham. We had
so now Sarah Donovan is in the game for Grace Dubois, and I like this. I like the fact that Lombardi and and brought the whole infield in. Let's talk the situation. It's a 3-run game. We're up by 3 runs. Our job is to get outs here. That's a bunt. Nice play by Chouinard. Wow.
Yep.
So not only did she get over there, but the ball was thrown towards the left side of the bag, and she had a stretch to get that one. So, and that was a really great bunt, too, by the way.
But again, she broke and she was in position. She wasn't running and then have to catch the ball. 21 for 17.
So Allie Gagnon comes in for Brooke DeRoche. So it looks like, for the most part, the coach, the manager for Sanborn, has gotten most of his players into this game. That ball's popped out of play, and I still see Butch Gifford with his dog in the right. Yep, he's sitting down out there with his dog.
Far and away.
Far and away. Another bunt fouled. Gagnon charging hard on that play.
No.
So that's a 2-strike count with 2 outs.
Down 3 runs and they're going to go small ball.
Well, you got to get runners on.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I think you've doubt she'll be bunting here. She does, and she's done.
Out.
She's out. So 2 outs. That's a recorded as what? Is that considered a strikeout on that? If you bunt? If you bunt.
It has to be.
It's a strikeout, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, number 12 for her is the bunt, the thrice bunt.
Strike 1.
So 2 strikes away for Shannon Gifford, pitching a 1-hitter. That ball's hit to second base. Chouinard grabs it cleanly, throws over to Purcell, and that is the game. So Shannon Gifford, player of the game in my opinion, with clearly a dominant pitching performance with 12 strikeouts and 1 hit. So I don't think you could ask for much more from your freshman pitcher. And I see now proud Papa Butch Gifford is standing up. Maybe he'll actually come down and grab a soft drink or something. But should be proud of his daughter, who just did an awesome job. And a big shout out to, I guess, Grandpa, who should be pretty proud as well. So Sanborn, though, put up a really, really good fight. I think let's give credit to Nicole Tebow, who pitched, I thought, an awesome game. I mean, for the caliber of Goffstown in terms of their hitting, Bill, she shut him down, I thought.
1 hit?
Yeah.
2 hits, really?
A couple hits, and those hits were opportune.
Again, it comes back to making the plays defensively.
Yeah. So for me, the players of the game are clearly going to be the battery, the pitcher-catcher. Those are our players of the game for today. And we'll try to get a little bit of feedback from Coach Matt Fleming. He played small ball today, which is not really his style, but it was what was dictated here. It was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they now play Saturday at home.
They play Saturday, I think, 4 o'clock,
4 o'clock against Oyster River.
Yep. So, anyway, we're going to call it a day. Goffstown beats Sanborn 3-0 in a close one. And we're going to go down to the field, and we're going to interview a couple of players and Coach Fleming. All right, I'm here with Shannon Gifford. Shannon, wow, you had a really impressive day. Did you expect it, or did you go in with this type of mentality that you'd have a 1-hitter with I think you had 12 strikeouts?
Yeah, I had 11, and honestly, I came in there knowing that this was going to be a tough game and that I'd have to really pitch my heart out for this game to win it.
Okay, so you were giving us, like, indigestion in warm-ups, and I don't know, we're going to call Allie here next, but, like, your first 3 warm-ups were, like, in the dirt, and I'm like, oh, boy.
Yep.
And you had the first inning was a little bit rough. You had a lot pitches, high, and then you just got into a groove, and then you had a little bit of a spot, I think, in the 3rd or 4th inning where you walked a couple of people, but then you just were laser focused. I noticed that you really were there any signs going on, because you didn't shake anything off?
No, yeah, there were signs going on, but honestly, I liked all the pitches Allie was calling during it. So
Now, in terms of was your strategy, it seemed like you were looking to go high and away on a lot of the pitches. Was that the strategy?
Yeah, we saw the umpire. He was calling mostly high and outside, so we decided to go that way, and it worked pretty well.
All right. So in terms of the success that you've had so far this year, you're hitting really well. The pitching's, you must be pretty happy.
Yeah, it's great. Team's
so
great.
What I want you to do is I want you to give a shout out to your grandfather in Florida, who I guess is watching these games on YouTube, and we talked about him today. So give a hello to your.
Hi, Grandpa.
All right. So great job and
Thank
good
you.
luck on Saturday. All right.
Thank you.
And we're going to bring in Allie Lombardi. So let's hand over the headset to Allie. So, Allie, really impressive game. It was pretty much you guys were in the zone, you and Shannon, and I was wondering if you guys were doing anything with signals because I didn't see her shaking off anything, so she must have liked everything that you were calling.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's kind of seniority because I'm a senior and she's a freshman, but she is very hard-headed, so it's surprising that I didn't get anything shaken off this game, but we've been working a lot with the pitchers, with me, to really connect and find what works for us. And we've been talking a lot between every inning, between every game, about what works for what batters, and we've really connected this year.
So Goffstown only had 2 hits the entire game, and yours was a key triple. I mean, I have to be honest, when we saw you guys go through the lineup, I'm like, man, you guys didn't put the bat on the ball all that well in the first go-around, and then you really gave them a spark there. What were you looking for? Because she was pitching high and away.
Yeah, in the beginning she was pitching a lot of high, but as she got going, I noticed that she was pitching a lot inside and then pushing it way out so we couldn't get to it. So I kind of looked for that, and I don't know if you noticed at the end, but I would move my feet around a little bit. So we kind of just to play with her a little bit, make sure that she didn't know what I was going to do and she didn't know where to pitch it because I wouldn't be in the same position I was at first.
Yeah.
So
again, a nice pitching performance by Sandown, and again, a really close game. Anything that senior leadership, anything you talked to the girls about? I noticed on the top of the 7th inning, you got them all together. What'd you say?
I said that actually we did not. We're taught by Matt to win the inning by inning, and then you win the game. The 6th inning we did not win, and I told them that. I said we didn't win this inning, so we need to win, or we didn't win that inning, so we need to win this one. And I think that gets a little bit of fire in their belly. That's what I try to do every time I go into the circle, is get a fire in their belly to get working.
Yeah, well, great job and a great game, a close game.
Thank you.
And now we're going to bring in Coach Matt Fleming. So, Matt, this was a really interesting game, and I guess I came into it thinking that, with your pretty potent offense, that it was that you guys were going to play a lot of runs, and it was the exact opposite. The pitcher, although she didn't look all that dominant, she got the ball over. She was really hitting her spots.
She had
tough.
She had great movement, and the other thing was she was really leaning in on her inside pitch and putting a lot of inside pitches in there, and we kept telling the girls, look, you got to come off the plate just a little bit. She's working the inside more than the out.
Well, Purcell got hit by a pitch, but her elbow was over the plate. So.
Right, and so in that inning when we get things going, it really is because we talked to Allie and we look, we're going to try to bunt her on. We think we have a chance here. We think there's less mobility at third, so we're going to try to put it down the line. If she gets on, all you got to do is come off the plate a little bit and drive the ball out of the infield. We can get Kate at least a third. We didn't expect it to go to the wall. They played her deep, but they didn't play her right, and so we were able to get her there. And probably my favorite part of that play is Allie knowing that when she comes around 3, she's got to be looking. And when they make the miscue plate at the plate, we're able to plate 2 runs on that. That's huge.
Yeah, it's interesting is it was a classic small ball game, and I'm not used to Goffstown playing that type of small ball game. And there are very few games, Matt, where I think the manager had as an impact in terms of what's happening. And I think this one was a lot of impact in terms of the play calls, in terms of trying to get the runner from first to third, and the bunt to bring in one more insurance run. I mean, that was picture perfect execution.
I appreciate that. And I want to say Amber Davis, she does a great job getting on. Here's what I love. So when we show bunt, we immediately recognize they're not bringing third base back, and nobody's at the bag. And so all I did was I signaled over to Amber, and I pointed at the bag at 3.
Yeah.
She never hesitated. She went in hard, and it became a foot race back to the bag, and they had to make not only a perfect throw, but they had to get there for the tag. And, once we table set her at third, I just said to her, we're going to do this again. We need to get one more insurance run.
And
so,
it was picture perfect. You couldn't.
Right.
You'll watch it on TV and you'll see.
I'm proud of them, and I will say this, and I appreciate what you said. Not only do we have to come up with ways to inspire them to do the things that they got to do, but they have to do it. They have to execute. And I just told them in the circle, no matter what, that was a well-executed inning by them, and they manufactured runs when it mattered. And in the postseason, you and I both know that could happen.
Yeah, no.
And so
bats,
I'm proud of them for
bats
that.
do go cold in the postseason, and the bats went cold today, but you manufactured runs. And so, again, on behalf of Goffstown and GTV, Matt, I also want to thank you for another wonderful Operation Hat Trick. It's great to recognize our veterans, and again, you just do a great job with the program, and it's just, I think you've been doing it for four years now, and it's just been awesome.
We're grateful for the coverage that you guys have done, and I also want to say that we were grateful for the time that you took for Nick Hines. We had that wonderful 8-inning game here a year ago for Nick when he was struggling with ALS, and he is in our hearts and in our prayers, and we're going to miss him, and he was a great man, and our heart goes out to the family, and so what you guys did today meant a lot to the program and hopefully into the family as well.
It's all big one big softball family has to stick together.
So thank you for that.
All right, so we're done here, and good luck on Saturday, Matt.
You bet, thanks.
Take care.